All right. So, hello there, folks. It's
Hello. Are we on?
we are.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been
Uh,
a long time.
been a long time, but I think life is more important than just a bunch of videos. And
Untrue. Untrue statement.
board games is more important than the life itself.
That's definitely a true statement. I can
Yes.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Something we can all agree with.
Yes. Videos. Maybe we have a bunch of them on the internet as a whole, but yeah. So here we are. It's Würfelcast, finally. It's episode 9. Um, the topic of the day is the top 10 games we want to see as movies. But we're going to get back to that eventually. I think near the end of the video, or the other half of the video. I'm sorry. I have I have an allergy reaction lately. It's spring, it's summer, and it's all growing, blooming, and yeah, it's really hard for me. So
Well, that sounds unpleasant.
yeah, I kind of when I talk, I kind of feel like I'm talking right in here. So
I had a really bad cold when I came back from Eurovision. I always get sick at Eurovision,
yeah,
and I'm unable to talk or breathe normally for about 2 weeks after I get back. It's always it's that's the price I pay.
yeah, you went the same. I mean, the day there was a Eurovision, or
Uh-oh.
the week there was a Eurovision, quite a few people fell sick, like in Estonia as well. I mean, the weather or something like that. I don't know what, but virus or something like that. I was also sick for like 2 weeks during that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
was that
maybe
was unpleasant.
maybe that's sixth season.
Yes, sixth season. Like, how was that game? Uh,
Pandemic.
no, what the game that was in one of the top tens? I don't remember. Something with with something with the six. I said something with the six. I don't remember right now.
Well, you talked about Dick Circus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was I think that eventually became Meeple Circus, which is a much better name.
Dext Circus. I want to say Dext Circus.
Uh
Dexterity Circus. Yeah,
huh.
nothing dirty over there. Yes. So, but let's get to our usual schedule, which is first of all recent plays. Um, I've played a bunch of games during these two months. I think yeah, it was 2 months. Um,
Yes.
but I mostly played with my colleagues, and I mostly played, the classic from my collection. So nothing really outstanding this time. But it's gonna be. We have the board game camp coming up later in June, in a week, no, in 2 weeks,
Okay.
something like that. So I'm gonna play a bunch of cool new games that I got. So, but let's start with one of my recent plays. So I played Stockpile again,
Oh, good.
which is a very nice game. I introduced the Stockpile to a bunch of new people. Like I had quite a few new folks coming into gaming. They know nothing about board gaming, but I'm like, I'm going to show you a few things, and maybe some of them are kind of like computer gamers, video gamers, but mostly these are just different folks that just know nothing about gaming, or maybe they know Monopoly and Uno or something like that. So that's that. So I taught Stockpile to them, and they really liked it because mechanically this game is extremely simple and very engaging. You have kind of a feel of with the expansion, especially when you roll dice and you have those different nominations of if the stock will go down or up. There aren't many action cards. Like you need to explain only the investor cards, which are the powers. Makes it a little bit more
Right.
difficult, maybe a little bit. But once they get it, it's all extremely simple because you see you have those shares, and you're gonna bid on them. And some cards are face down, some cards are face up. So you're gonna gamble on that, and kind of a gambling feeling is more usual casual style feeling for the people. But I mean, like people know about gambling, you know, they know poker or you know blackjack and so on. You know, they know that kind of a risky gambling thing. So it was really nice to show them stockpile. Stockpile, it's an investment game, you know, and you manipulate, but mostly you just predict the stocks going up or
Yeah.
down, and you have a partial information. It's outguessing, outsmarting. Really, really cool. I like that, and involves the kind of a simple economy. So
Yeah,
stockpile.
I quite like Stockpile as well. I mean, it's been around a while. There's the new expansion that's coming soon, I hope, and
Yeah.
I've played it many times, and I've played with I think all of the expansion modules that are available so far.
Hmm.
And I think I've played with everything, and I've played just the good old basic game,
Yeah.
and I think it works at just about any count. Although I think I always do play with the reverse side of the board where the stocks behave differently.
Oh yeah,
I think
surely.
I,
It's
I think
nothing
that's
difficult. Yeah.
yeah. I think I would just when I teach the game, I just tell people that's the rule because it's just the board. It's not.
No, there was somebody who was like, oh, what's the other side of the board? I'm like, no, 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 it's nothing. It's nothing. You play on
Yeah.
that side. The other
Well, I
side is
mean,
just
the
misprint.
other the other side is fine. It's just it's more fun. I don't know.
It's
That's
the other
such
side
a
is boring. Everything is the same.
yeah. Well,
That's the
it's
thing.
such a small module to flip the board over that
Yeah.
I can hardly justify not playing with that. But other than that, I've stripped everything out or I've added everything back in, and I've enjoyed it
Yeah.
both ways.
Sometimes,
So
like right now when I played only the base game, like without the bonds. Just the changing what's the
the
forecast.
dice,
The
yeah,
dice, yeah, basically. I played with the changing forecast because that doesn't add any rules. It just adds variability in changing of the stocks. And yeah, the reverse side of the board. And I excluded the bonds right now, and
yeah,
I excluded the good cards,
commodities,
whatever
yeah,
commodities. Yeah,
right, okay,
because
yeah,
they're nice, but nothing extremely special too.
sure. Mhm.
So yeah, one of your recent plays.
All right. Well, this was, we prepped for this discussion a while ago. So the recent play that I'm going to talk about was more recent then, although I will probably play it today again. So it's a recent and future play, and that is a very ugly game. This is a game where when I got it out, I was like, oh, was this done by the same person who did the Golden City, or sorry, the Golden Ages? It wasn't. It was done by somebody else. But this is the game Gentis.
Yeah, Gentis, I think. No, Gentis.
No, nobody
Whatever.
knows.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a team GMG
um,
game. Yeah.
Gentes. I guess Gentis like Gentiles, but anyway, um, it's a
Sorry.
great game. It's kind of like a worker placement game if everybody shared the workers. Is
Yeah.
kind of the best way I can describe it. You've got this on the board are these action tiles, and on your turn you're going to select an action tile, and each action tile is going to cost some degree of money and some degree of time. And you've
Yeah.
got this limited time track, and so you've got to put tokens out on it, and that's how you spend the time. And when you're out of room there, you just can't take any more actions.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, it's very fast, but it's really interesting. And when I played it the first time, I was like, let's play it again. I mean, okay, the game is ugly, but it's very simple and it's very fast and it's just a lot of fun. And so don't judge this one by how it looks. It's a great game.
Yeah. Though when I looked at this one, I was hesitant to buy this one. Uh, Not doing kicks. I looked at this. The cover is fine. The cover looks nice. It looks
Cover's fine.
stylish. Yeah. Then when I looked at the board and everything, I was like, yeah, it kind of looks a little bit ugly. But
It looks really ugly.
yeah, the deluxe edition though, with all those
Still
wooden
looks ugly.
pieces, that looks better. I mean, that's the thing. So it's not a beautiful game. Okay, let's be honest, not a beautiful game. But I was really interested in like I'm interested in the civilization games. That when I played the Golden Ages as well. That's that, and I just want to try it eventually. But I didn't hear any splash on that one. It's amazing, something like that. People say it's good, so
Well, I think you'll enjoy it if you get to play it. I don't know if you need to run out and buy it, but it's definitely worth your time. In terms of just sort of a boring, themeless Euro game, it it really, I mean, it obviously is, but it really does what it needs to do in a clever and fun way. So
good. So maybe I'll play it during the camp if
yeah,
somebody
that'd be a
has
good
it,
time.
because I've seen it there. I've seen people having the deluxe edition. So
Well, the deluxe edition just came out, but the non-deluxe edition came out, I think a year and a half ago. So,
yeah, that's that.
so it's certainly around.
So my next recent play is one of my favorite games, and it's Cyclades or Cyclades or anything like that. Just
It's
name it.
just
Yeah,
like Gentis.
yeah. Cyclades comes from the word cycle, and this cycle. I know.
Okay,
Okay,
go ahead.
let me go on, go on. So Cyclades, yeah, it's Greek mythology and monsters and bidding. Like, I'm starting with the thematic things like monsters and Greek mythology, and then I'm gonna say bidding. Oh,
Bidding.
bidding. No, but it's. I played again. I played my favorite game again, and I was like, it's still my favorite game. It's extremely smooth. I don't care about the kind of a fast ending, something like that, where it can end in an instant.
It
Though
can.
the game we had was epic because we had kind of a. It was really the ending was so uncertain. Like, we played a 3-player game. One person was out of the game because I kind of destroyed that person. So sadly, but I was like, I wanted to turn off. I mean, like, not the turn off. I wanted to destroy one of the opponents and then concentrate on the other one and try to stop her, and then eventually make her build Metropolis and then attack it with some cool powers. So I was like kind of a plotting all of that. I like in that game. You can kind of you have some random elements, but you still plot. And eventually, if something comes up, a hero or a monster that you really want to get, then it's amazing. Kind of a little bit of that gambling, if you will get or
Yeah.
not. This game is about area control, and you're on those different islands. I didn't play with the Titans. I'm gonna play the Titans again at some point.
You always say that.
No, I'm really gonna play, because these were new players, and I'm not gonna
Okay.
play Titans for new players.
No.
It's a little bit too much. And I played just the base game with the extra gods and like with the Hades expansion, basically, some of those
Sure.
modules, but
Hmm.
mostly just the base game, because I don't want to get too much into like, I didn't want to show them too much. They would be scared of too much going on in the game. So that's that, and I just love it. I love the bidding. I love the different gods and those powers. And sometimes you're not gonna get uh, your troops to move. You're not gonna get some cool monsters, but some monsters are with figurines, and some monsters are with just cards, which are instant abilities. But though everything is instant abilities, but you have those expansions modules where you
Hmm.
have those extra gods, which give you extra variability, and those priestesses, which give you an option to not to pay to the hero, or leave the monster for another turn. So Hades expansion is great. It's essential. It's kind of a part of the base game for me, at least. But yeah, I have the monuments expansion. I have the ancient ruins, and the big Titans expansion. All the promos, and like, I have everything for that. So I'm eventually gonna have this kind of a epic game night with Cyclades, and I'm gonna play the Titans board this time. But yeah, so
Well, that will
Cyclades,
be. I'm, I'm glad you got to play that one again.
yeah, it's been a while.
Hmm.
So your
Well,
next,
my other one that I want to talk about today is kind of a weird game. It was a weird. So I have a sort of a penchant for weird games, and when I hear of something weird, I kind of have to go out of my way to buy it. And so I
I
spent
see.
too much money to acquire this game, and it is a cooperative game
Okay.
that uses kind of a Jenga mechanism, and it is called Sarah's Vision.
What? I don't know that.
And I will not fault you for not having heard of it. Apparently, it was published by an insurance company. And you've got a Jenga tower, and the blocks have different colors on the side. So, for example, there's purple and green and orange, yellow, and some of them are multicolor. And then there's a series of actions. So there's a series of cards that are coming up. And so
Oh, I
you can
see.
see what good or bad actions are going to be happening. But every action you take, you have to pay for. And the way you pay for it is you take a Jenga block out and you move it to the top. Very simple. And you're trying to survive this deck of good and bad events. And it tells kind of a story. The story wasn't all that strong, but oh, hello, Infinity. And
Yeah,
that
just
looks
to
like
show.
Kickstarter. Um, the story wasn't all that strong. There were sort of 3 acts, and it was okay. But as a game, it was really interesting because I haven't seen. It's like somebody said, "Ooh, we like Jenga. Let's put a game around it." And it's if the tower ever falls down, you don't lose, but you immediately execute all of the events without a chance to react to them. And so that's not the best news. And you'll see those blocks kind of there on the side. When as things happen, you can put blue cubes on that table, and when you've got when one line or column is full, you get to take those blocks and put them off to the side, and you can spend them as a resource in the future instead of pulling from the Jenga tower. So it was a
It
really
looks really nice.
interesting game. Yeah,
In
it is. It's not a bad game at all. It's not particularly easy. I think the ease or difficulty is going to depend largely on whether you're good at playing Jenga, but and how sturdy your table is. But it was an interesting attempt to take kind of a tired old game mechanism and build something new around it. So I have to applaud it for that. It was very expensive, unfortunately. It costs as much as the game to get it over here. It just isn't really in distribution.
yeah,
But it's interesting, and I'm glad that I have it. And I'll look forward to trying it. I mean, I don't think I'll take it with me. I have a game day today. I don't think I'll take Sarah's Vision with me just because I don't know if it'll work with that group of people. But if somebody's over here and we want something that's not really rules heavy, there's just a few rules, but kind of fun and different. I think Sarah's Vision definitely fits that bill.
hmm, that's nice. Yeah, it looks interesting. I want to try that one. I don't know why. I'm not into Jenga though, but that one
Well,
looks.
you'll have to find somebody who has it. I don't think there
I
are
mean,
very many people who do. It doesn't really top the list of
it's made
bestsellers.
by the insurance company, and I work as an insurance broker right now. You know.
At that insurance
Yes,
company.
like insurance broker. I'm not at the insurance company. More like insurance broker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it has to do with insurance. I just don't know. I don't know why, but I do know it was produced
Yeah, I
by an
just read that
insurance
too.
company.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's nice. All right, so I'm gonna just go through just 2 more recent plays. One of them is Abyss. Amazing game. Still, I love
Okay.
it. As I told you before, like
It's a good game.
I had a bunch of new folks coming into gaming. My previous colleagues from all the Hands and so on. So few just new folks, the friends of the friends, and I showed them different games, and I wanted to show them something which is a little bit more difficult than just Monopoly type thing. Just roll the dice and see what happens. And I wanted to show them some beautiful stuff and uh, some stuff based on the money management and so on. So I showed them Abyss as well, and we played with the expansion eventually, with the Leviathan expansion and with the
Oh, good.
like both of the expansions basically. And the Leviathan expansion is amazing because it adds the whole new kind of a vibe to the monsters. Where when you explore, you get the monster card. Now you can go and fight the Leviathan, and if you don't fight him, then you're gonna roll the dice and see, and there's gonna be a new Leviathan coming up. And if you roll the dice and the new one must go into the same place where there is a previous one, or like if the place is already taken by another Leviathan, then you get some injuries, and injuries might be minus points, or like you lose some stuff, you lose a lord, you lose whatever the cards, and it can hurt you. And plus with that one, you have the first expansion where you have the Kraken, where you have the Black Pearls and so on. It kind of mixes all that together, and there are those the allies cards. Some of them have extra, like some of them are the low number, but
Mm-hmm.
they have extra ability, which like helps you fight the Leviathans, which kind of it makes them. I really like those cards because sometimes you're like, I don't want to pay 2 pearls for like 2 power of the ally. It's number 2 power that I mean like, but it has the special ability to fight the Leviathan. Maybe I should play it still. You had
Mm-hmm.
kind of that kind of decision, and just an amazing game. I love it. It's simple. Eventually, when you get one turn going, like if you go through one round, you're totally fine. You get this game, and yeah, I just love Abyss.
Yeah, I've only ever played the first expansion. I've always wanted to play the second one, but I always end up playing it with somebody new. And so I've thought, well, I mean, the pearls are so easy to throw in that I just explain it as part of the rules. But the
It's
Leviathans I've just never gotten out yet. So I'll have to try them sometime.
the first expansion, the pearls. It's a little bit difficult for people to kind of remember that you only can spend 1 pearl
And
on the
only
black
when you're
pearls.
out of white pearls. That's true.
Yes,
I've found some people who forget that rule. In fact, I think that rule has been forgotten every time we've played it, and somebody's been unhappy. Uh,
yeah, but I mean, like it's the I mean the Leviathan expansion is it's essential. It's one of my favorite expansions ever that I've played. It's just so essential for this game that I will never play it the usual way again.
okay,
I
yeah,
just wanna throw away the base game's monster track,
well,
destroy it, put it in fire, and so on. So
or set it aside in case you ever want to use
yeah.
it.
So
For example.
yeah. But anyway, the second one I'm just gonna go through really fast. Second one is Unlock. I played the new, not the new one, but the exotic series of Unlock, and I
Hmm.
ordered
Ooh.
I ordered the time, not the timeless, the one with the Sherlock Holmes as well.
Okay.
That one is coming, but I played only two of the three, and I want to play the last one today. It has the Sherazad's Tale, and it has the Jurassic Park kind of theme, adventure theme.
Okay.
So, like in Europe, you have a box and 3 scenarios in one box.
Right.
So it was nice. I mean, I liked some of the parts of Scheherazad's fairy tale, and but it was like okay. The most difficult scenario, which was the Jurassic Park type scenario, was really cool, and it was frustrating at times, but they used some nice new mechanics again. I was really it was a kind of a refreshment. I really like the dinosaur thing.
Hmm. Okay.
Really like that. So really recommend the Jurassic Park scenario.
The not Jurassic Park scenario.
I mean, like it has the dinosaur on the cover, and I don't want to spoil anything, so
Okay.
I kind of say something
Well,
like that.
all
So
right.
Nicole,
Fair
go.
enough. Well, the last one I will just talk about very briefly is I got my expansions for Seventh Continent and I pulled out the base game and played through that a couple of times. I didn't even play any of the new scenarios. I mixed in all the stuff and played only the some of the older scenarios that I hadn't gone through yet. But I just
Look at
I
that. I have the
what's that?
replacement cards.
Oh yeah, I did that too. That's sort of that was easy, but um, although it looks like you have a lot more replacement cards than I did.
They included that we had the two-way shipping, and they
Okay.
included that with the expansion. There was the second Kickstarter, not the first one, the second, and basically it's all the cards of the base game,
Uh-huh.
like all of the 900. I don't know how many, but
Oh,
8 ton.
okay.
Like it's heavy, it's huge. I
Okay.
mean,
No,
like I can just pull out the previous cards and give them to someone who can play the full game.
hmm.
So weird.
Mine just came with a small replacement pack for the first edition, like 10 cards that had some misprints on them, and uh, and
But
that was it.
they have the cutting thing as well, like the
Uh,
colors and the
yeah,
edges of the cards, whatever. So
I think that was there was something with the second printing. So you must have gotten a second printing that required that.
yes.
But they and I have the first edition base game and the
Oh,
expansion.
I see.
So so I pulled that out and I played through the Swamp of Madness scenario. I didn't win, but I rarely do. But I had, I just got it out and I was like, oh, this is such a good game. But I was playing it alone, and that one, I don't know. It's fun to play alone, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to spend the time with someone else. So
Yeah,
I'll wait for someone to come visit me. The only problem with that game is it just takes up so much time.
yeah,
And even though the box, even though they talk about the easy save system, I don't find it as easy as I don't know. It's not fun to put the game away halfway through. So,
hmm. That's interesting.
um, but I don't know. I really enjoy that game. I played with some of the new characters is what I did, even though I used an older scenario.
Hmm.
But anyway, it's sort of a choose your own adventure game, and it's a lot of fun, and I quite enjoy it. You just need a huge table and a lot of time.
Yeah, and though one thing is that uh, we have the next topic is desired plays, and my
Yes.
desired play is Seventh Continents.
Oh, did I steal it from you?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, I got the expansion lately, so I was like,
Yeah. Same with
I
me.
really want to
So,
get the base game. I've never played. I'm like, it sits on my shelf for a long time already because I
mhm,
didn't have time. I'm the same. Like when I play Time Stories, I play the whole scenario as one go. And I
mhm,
didn't have like 7 hours to spend to play
yeah.
just one game. So I need to
Well,
play that. It's my desired play. So
okay. Well, if we're moving into that, I'm going to talk about. I have kind of two desired plays, but one's a cheat because I don't know anything about it, but I want to show something off. I've been traveling all week, so I got a box on Monday, and the box was about the size of me, and I opened it up, and inside was the Joan of Arc miniatures game. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this,
yeah,
but it looks interesting. But I want to show you one piece from the Joan of Arc miniatures game. Oops, and I hope it doesn't fall apart. I gotta. Here we go. Is this one, and I don't know if you can see it, but
ooh,
this is the legendary dragon, and it's as big as my head.
that's
And just
amazing.
sort of for comparison, this is the size of one of the regular miniatures in the game.
Look
So
at that. It's Game of
it is
Thrones.
it is just enormous. And I don't know anything more about the game, but I remember on the Kickstarter, they said the dragon was going to be enormous. And so I had to open it up and see the dragon. So far, it's the only box I've opened. Um,
Is it the Time of Legends?
yes, Joan of Arc Time of Legends. And
That's the one
specifically,
I know.
this dragon is the legendary dragon module. And it is definitely, I think the Cool Mini or Not Cthulhu statuary that's going to come with When Death May Die is bigger, but so far it is the biggest board game piece for a single game that I think I've seen.
Uh, no, but the game looks amazing. I mean, like when you look at
It
that.
does. It just looks like a game that I'm going to have to devote a lot of time to learning and to unpacking and sorting. And so I just haven't had
True.
time to get to it. Also, I went to the Cool Mini or Not Expo a couple weeks ago, and I attended the panel presentation about the Bloodborne board game, and it made me think, oh, there's a video game, which I knew but didn't know, and so I bought a PlayStation and have been playing that lately, and so that has cut a little bit into my time. Um,
And I bought the Xbox.
okay.
So I
But
was like, I want to play it.
but the real desired play, that was just sort of to show off my toy. The
Yeah.
real desired play I have is, and it's one that I hope I'll get in today, is a new game. It's from famed designer Wolfgang Warsch, and that is
Ah,
Die Taverne in Tiefental.
whatever.
It would translate into the taverns in the Deep Valley, and it's a very interesting looking game. You know, you're running a tavern, and it's sort of that kind of thing. There's a bunch of modules that you can kind of add on that make it, add a little bit more. But as I was learning the rules, you've got this board, and every piece of the board sort of is modular, and you can upgrade them. And when you upgrade them, you just flip it over and slot it in. But you're just, it's kind of like a deck building game, but not quite. You're What you do is on your turn, you'll flip over these cards, and you've got this row of tables, and as long as you've got room in the tables, you can keep flipping cards. And so and then you've got dice that you'll roll and do some drafting, and then you're allocating the dice to the different actions and then performing the actions, and just kind of going from there. And there's different modules. If you're looking for the game, I can show it to you.
This one?
But it's
Yes, it is.
yeah, it's that one.
Die Tavern in
Tavernen
Tiefental.
in Tiefental.
Yeah. That's really.
So that's my real desired play, since I don't know that I can count Time of Legends Joan of Arc yet. Um, Also, back to Joan of Arc, I'm not sure where the dragon fits in historically and thematically, but I don't remember her doing that. But here you go. Riddle me this: what was Joan of Arc made of?
I don't know.
Made of Orleans.
Oh, oh my god.
Yep, there you go.
Oh my god. Okay. It's time to move
Anyway,
on.
yep, it is.
It's time to move on. Yeah. All right. So we got through the desired place, and now it's time for guess that game. Guess that game. Woohoo!
Ba, 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 ba,
Guess
ba.
that game. Guess that game. Guess that game. Okay, that's gross. That's weird.
All
We need
right,
to think of if like
a better
no.
transition.
I no. Yeah, I need to write those. Like I need
Yeah,
to
one
record
of
those
us actually
transitions.
knows about music. The other one just sort of makes noises. And I'll leave the viewers to figure out which of us that is.
Where's la la la? Where's la? Okay, sorry, hurting your ears. But anyway, I'm gonna start.
All right.
So the first game. So guess that game is somebody doesn't know. Guess the game is where
I think
we
it's pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, we just we give out like hints of a game, and the other person has to guess that game. So you as viewers also have time to guess the game and see if you were right. So, but my first hint for the first game is it has cool illustrations.
Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born.
No, no, it's
Oh,
not. All right, it's a card game.
Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born.
Not yet, not yet. Wait, the next one. It has app integration.
Hmm, there's a couple of those. Chronicles of Crime.
No.
Okay.
The next hint is it has different themes.
Time Story, or sorry, what's that one? Unlock.
Yes, it's Unlock.
Okay.
Unlock series, yeah.
All right. There you go.
Woo. So your turn.
All right. My first game is a game about. It is a worker placement game, sort of, and that's not enough to go by.
Yeah, let's say outlive.
It is not Outlive. It is a game in which you are trying to make the most money.
Time to make the most money. It's a worker placement game. sort of a, I don't
A
know.
sort of worker placement game.
Yeah, most money. I know nothing about most money.
Oh,
Most
okay.
points.
Well, yeah, that does happen to correspond with points. Anyway, the next one is it is a game about discovery and promotion.
Discovering what?
Promotion.
The game about this Lewis and Clark? No.
No, it is a game in which you can. It is a game about collecting and selling certain sets, and you'll get points for either collecting or selling the sets.
Asante, something like
No,
that. Jumbo, collecting, selling certain sets.
yeah, it's not that game. It is a
Artifact
game.
Sync.
No, it's not Artifact Sync.
Okay.
But that does go into the next clue. It is a game about art.
About art.
Hmm.
Oh, the gallerist.
That's the one.
Okay, I've never played this one. I didn't know it was a worker
Oh,
placement game. But
it's
yeah,
kind of a
that's
worker placement. There's only four spots to place them in, but so that one kind of it's a weird game. It's worker placement is kind of right, but it's also kind of wrong, and you're also moving the workers around. I don't know.
yeah, that's nice. Okay, that was a tough one. So
Sorry. I'd try not to pick obscure games. That one's at least mainstream.
no, it is, it's all good. It's all good. I should have known the gallerist. So my next one is a card game.
Uno.
Okay, it has rules.
Oh, well then not Uno. I'm afraid I
So
won't get it from there.
yeah, it has colors.
Coloretto.
No. So what did I say? It's a card game. It has rules. I kind of a point on that. It has colors, and the last one, it has numbers.
Red 7?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. All right.
That's like it has rules. That's was
That's true. It does. Fair enough. I understand. All right. My last game is a new game.
yeah. Res Arcana.
No. Well, that's a good one. It is a game about turning a little bit of money into a lot.
Okay, about turning a little bit of money into lots. Um, and no, no,
Okay.
no guess.
It is a game with tile placement and route building.
Tile placement and route building. Like whistle stop.
It is a game about oil.
Um, Wildcatters.
No?
Oil. It's a game of oil. Brass. No, brass is not in oil.
Brass isn't really oil, although there is oil in it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And the last one is it is a new release from Capstone Games.
What do you have? The pipelines?
That's the one. Pipeline.
Okay. Oh, Kochka got it as well. Pipeline, yeah.
Yep.
You played it already?
I have. I played it once, and shall we say, the first play was a little bit rough. So I can see the game's potential, but understanding how to make the pieces work, there's not a lot of rules. But let's just say I was in the whole game, and I immediately wanted to play it again to see what I could do differently. So I think there's potential there, but let's just say that I turned a little money into less.
Yeah.
I think my score was -50. Um,
Yeah. But I really want to try this one. Sounds interesting. Well, it looks right, sounds right, but it's
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's kind of fun because you've got these little routes that you're connecting, which is your pipeline that you have to build a big pipeline so that you can refine the oil. It's really good. I just anyway. I guess I slipped in another recent play.
Hmm. Okay, so all right, but we're done with the guess that game.
We are.
Yes, it's two games. I'm like at some point when
You,
we don't
you've
do that.
forgotten how we do this?
Yeah, if we don't do that constantly, like it's like every month, then I'm like, what was that anyway? But all right, so guess that game is done, and now we're gonna go to the next topic, which is what's on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
What's
Let's just
on
say
Kickstarter?
this has
Okay.
changed a little bit since 2 months ago when we wanted to do this. So I had to look up something new today.
Yeah, the project's ended before, but so my Kickstarter game is gonna be here. Oh, Infinity. So
And beyond.
it's an expansion for Stockpile. So I haven't really looked into Kickstarter that much during this months, but when I saw this one, I was like, oh no, I played the Stockpile, then I put the picture up
Uh-huh. Yeah.
on the Twitter account, and then the Navu
Not Nauvoo.
Navu games, yeah. So
Hmm.
they like, oh, great, and we're gonna have the new expansion. I'm like, oh, really? So it's illicit investments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
And it's pretty cheap if you just
it's
want the expansion.
$12 plus the shipping.
Yeah.
So,
Which is also going to be $12. But
but
uh
but I mean, this one has an Epic edition, and the Epic edition has all the the promos and the two expansions and the base game.
mhm. For
So
like $50, it's not even that much.
it's 60.
Okay. Well,
It's sixty
I,
dollars
I'm
plus the
just
shipping,
remembering. Okay.
but it's
Well,
all in one box. I mean, like it's
yeah.
the whatever the Epic box. So the expansion itself adds the those kind of strategy cards that you play, but they can kind of influence you in a bad way as well. So you
Hmm.
can kind of have an extra option to manipulate the chaos of the markets. But yeah, like it kind of for me at least, it feels like it adds some really cool decisions where I want to get something great now, but it will haunt me later. So that's that, and you can get all of that. You can see the tires, so you have this kind of exclusive,
Hmm.
the big one, the Epic Edition, and all the
Yep.
promos. I mean, like it's not it's cheap, $60, and it's a
It's
great game.
reasonably priced actually with everything.
Plus, they had kind of have I don't know what. Oh, they have like extra promo things, and it says the USA. So if you're in European Union, you're gonna pay 60, like almost $80 for the game plus shipping. The game to expansions and promos plus shipping, $80 is not that
It's
much.
not bad. That's reasonable.
And USA has 8, 10, or 13, so you're
Okay.
gonna pay like $62. So that's that.
Yeah.
So that's Stockpile, my Kickstarter of
All
the
right.
of
So,
the
unfortunately, most of the Kickstarters that I'm in, other than Stockpile, ended recently. So, the one that I'm going to talk about is, and knowing my Cthulhu mythos, I refuse to say this name. So, I'm going to say that this is called Him Who Is Not to Be Named, which, if you were wanting to look it up, is spelled Hastur. Uh,
HASTUR.
Tur. Him Who Is Not to Be Named. Now, this is from the Mysterious Package Company. It's not really a game, but it's almost more like an escape room type thing. I've done a couple of their
Is it?
things, kind of. So I did their Cthulhu one, and there was sort of some puzzles to solve, but also it came with a huge Cthulhu statue. like a huge. It's in my office. A huge Cthulhu statue and a cultist ring, and a really nicely done, like manuscript-looking story of the Call of Cthulhu. It was really a nice package. It came in a huge wooden crate. It looked like it was from a museum. This one, him who is not to be named, it comes with a ticket to see the King in Yellow and a bunch of other things. They also have one of the best FAQs that you'll see on Kickstarter. Basically, they just answer every question with no.
Can you tell me what the
So
application? So if like,
it's it's an experience is basically what you're paying for. Think of it like an escape room. That's sort of the best way to think about it, although it's different. It's kind of a puzzle, and there's sort of things to figure out, which is that's why I say it's kind of the same thing. So it's almost a game, but it's not directly a board game. But it's going to be interesting. I've been impressed with all of their other stuff, and I've done this one, and I did another one based on the Adventure Zone, and they're really interesting. Some of the puzzles are too hard for me, but that's okay. But what you end up with when you're done is some sort of really interesting pieces that you can display, and that I do display, and it's just really a good way to go. It's expensive, but it's probably worth what you're going to pay if you like Cthulhu Mythos things, because you'll end up certainly with some artifacts that you can,
yeah,
a
I do,
statue or something you can
yeah, I
frame.
do like that though. Like, I
I'll
like the
have to show
Cthulhu.
you. It's at my office, but I'll have to show you sometime the Cthulhu statue. It's about that big. It's bigger than the dragon. Uh,
Okay, looks interesting. I need to look into that
so,
whenever you get it, if you get it.
and but you'll know not to say that name, because that can summon him. So,
I has to say that name.
you're gonna
I
be
has
mad.
to say that name. So yeah, bye, Kochka, and see you later.
I'll see you
Watch this
later.
video. Yeah, you can watch this video in a recorded format as well.
Sure.
But anyway, so we had what's on Kickstarter, and now we're gonna go to top 10 games we want to see as movies.
Yep.
Now, to clarify,
Okay. I wasn't given any clarification.
yeah, no, the thing is that I didn't want to give any special rules or anything like that, but I wanted to. So there are some games that when you play them, you see like, oh, like for example, Nemesis. You say like, oh, it's Alien, the movie, the board game. It is like that. So I didn't pick those games. Like if you go with Dead of Winter, you say, oh, it's The Walking Dead as a board game. You know, so I excluded those kinds of games that kind of already have this kind of a fame of being made in comparison with those different movies.
Mm.
So that's that. So I tried to find the unique themes, kind of unique, but the unique worlds. Let's say
Mm.
I tried to at least.
I approached it a little bit differently, and I went through games that when I'm playing them, I think this is such an interesting story. I could see this as a movie.
No, me too. But I'm like
Okay.
with few exceptions.
But I don't think I did anything that was sort of just a straight port or something. But well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go to screen sharing again. Sorry about that. It's the infinity loop. And I'm gonna start with my number 10. It has this picture
Die
over
Taverne
here.
im tiefen Tal?
No, it's not. I mean, like it would
Okay.
be a
Say that
boring
would not make
movie.
a very good movie.
Yeah, surely that. So,
That's
so
basically Cheers, the board game.
I mean, basically, you can, yeah, basically you can basically pick any highly thematic game, or I have some games that are not highly thematic, but they have those interesting worlds. If you imagine, then you can get kind of a theme out of that. And some like it's not only movie. I mean, like when I thought about the movies, I could think about the animated movies as well, something like that. So it's
Okay.
I didn't give any like It can be a biographical movie or just documental movie or anything like that. It can be anything. So my number 10 is Wasteland Express Delivery Service. So that's that.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be sorry, be better.
So that's my phone. But Wasteland Express Delivery Service. That's the one that has the kind of a Mad Max type feel to it.
Hmm.
But it's the Mad Max was kind of a, the brutal world, and he goes around and they just blow things up. That's the thing. This one is different. This one is kind of a life in kind of a Mad Max universe where you deliver stuff, and it has more resources. I think it has more vibe of that kind of a post-apocalyptic world than the Mad Max. Mad Max was just just action. So
Yeah.
I want to see that one as a movie. You have your truck, you deliver stuff from one point to another one. It's pick up and deliver game, but you have those different resources. And the lands themselves are dangerous, and you can have the bandits coming after you and so on. So that's that. So I really like that, and imagine that it would be a great post-apocalyptic movie about, like, it would be fantasy, but maybe those people, a group of people who are they are delivering stuff eventually, but something really cool happens, and then they get into the action as well. So
Okay.
kind of like that. So
There you go.
your number
I don't know.
10.
My number 10 is one where, and the reason this one came to the list is because when I play it, I'm captivated by the artistic moments in the game that sort of tell stories, even though the stories aren't relevant to the game, and that is Scythe. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it'd be interesting to see that world sort of brought to life with this sort of old timey, uh, early 20th century agrarian society with these large robots that are kind of converted over into battle robots. And it's just, visually it's good at telling stories, and I think that could be translated easily into an interesting world for a movie.
yeah, I could see that, definitely. All right, all right. So let's go to number 9. My number 9 is a little bit, it's a bit weird, but it's still. So basically, my number 9 is Bomb Squad, from TMG. And Bomb Squad, you kind of go into those different buildings and trying to rescue the hostages and defuse bombs and so on. And I've thought about that one. You like the theme itself. It's really nice. It's really different, and also it doesn't have any good pictures. That's weird. Anyway, so, and it's a real time thing as a game. It's really nice. You go inside and you go with your robot, and you program. It's an action programming thing, and you can basically screw up with programming, and then everything is gonna blow up.
Yeah.
But it has kind of this yeah, it's a really cool real time experience, to be honest. And the scenarios are quite difficult. As a movie, I thought about, like, it can be the documental about the bomb squad as it is. It can be really interesting and very very good to know, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there are those squads, and how difficult it is and how extremely risky this job is and so on, so people know about this kind of a
Mm.
job of
Well,
misusing bombs, and fighting the terrorists, fighting the, like, rescuing the hostages and so on. So that'll be a nice, maybe
great.
like kind of a documental movie.
Would it follow the chronicles of an extremely slow moving robot?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
E.T.
E.T. Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Well, my number 9 is a game that's kind of it's a weird game so it's a great game, one that I like a lot. It's Too Many Bones, And
Yeah.
in Too Many Bones, you've got the story you're playing through. You've got a character or two, and you're upgrading them and taking them through this story to fight some sort of a big boss. And you can easily see while playing it how it would fit into a movie. You know, you could develop the characters and their personalities, keep the the interesting artifacts that they find, and watch them sort of develop the stories of these tyrants that they're fighting against. I just think it would be, the game itself is mostly tactical movement and combat, but every round you're drawing a card and reading a little story and trying to develop some sort of adventure that they're going on. I mean,
Hmm.
almost think of it like the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings style of things, although it's very different. It's not really related to that, but you're going on some sort of a journey to accomplish some great feat, and there's some big, I don't know, be it a werewolf or an ogre or a troll or whatever it is in your way that you're trying to defeat. I think there's a lot more story to be told, and it would work well in a movie or series thereof. Too Many Bones.
Yeah. That's it's fantasy. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
played this one, so I don't know if what's the feeling inside this one.
Well,
So
you'll. It's too big to take anywhere. The thing weighs 100 pounds, but I don't know. You might actually like it. It's a cooperative game. It works, but it works really well. And the story, it tries to tell story, and it's a lot of fun. So,
okay. So let's go to number 8. My number 8 is the game about time travel, and it's a heavy game, and it's Anachrony.
okay.
Anachrony as a board game, like I was thinking about, like it's a heavy Euro game where you have a ton of resource management, but it has a really nice story, and it has the post-apocalyptic world, and you're traveling back in time in order to fix the problems, in order to for the to survive. So basically, but the Earth is gonna end eventually, and so on. So kind of a that struggle of different factions, and kind of this kind of a futuristic, high technology post-apocalyptic world where there's a ton of resources and so on, kind of a Atlantis type, different factions, like
Mm,
different Atlantis factions, and those robots and those, I don't know, it can be a really nice kind of a science fiction movie as it is. It's kind of a showing
yeah,
off this kind of a time travel.
and there's sort of some cataclysmic end of world event that's coming. So that would work. I could see that.
Yeah, I have to play it again to kind of a,
I played it recently. It holds up pretty well. Anyway,
it's a really nice game. So yeah, your number 8.
my number 8 is a game sort of like Scythe, not like Scythe, but it sort of the reason it made it onto the list is kind of the same reason in that the artwork is so interesting. The game is called The Ancient World. It recently got a reprint. I haven't played the reprint
Second
yet, but
edition. Yeah, the Ryan Lockett game. Yeah.
yeah, but you've got these huge titans, and they're gigantic monsters, and you're kind of developing your army that uses swords and arrows to go and take them down. And the basic premise of the game is essentially worker placement, but you've got all these big monsters, and the artwork on them is that nice. I think Ryan Lockett's best artwork is sort of his monstrous, gigantic, tendrily walking through the mist type characters like you see on the cover of the box. And you can just sort of imagine a movie in which you've got to fight off all these big titans. I'm sure
Yeah.
there already are such movies, but this
Yeah.
would be an interesting. I mean, there's no
Hmm.
real characters in the game. This isn't. This is kind of on the dry side in terms
Yeah.
of story, but you could easily see a movie taking place in this world about defeating these titans or allying with them or something like that. I think that
Hmm.
would be very interesting.
Yeah. Surely, I kind of feel that, like, now that you explain, I think the Ryan Lockett games as they are quite interesting.
Hmm.
So all right, so let's go to number 7. My number 7 is a, and I think you have it as well. So, but it's a movie about superheroes, and it's Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Oh, well,
I
that,
mean,
that
like,
one may show up later.
yeah, I mean, like this one. Though we have those superheroes, we have the DC, we have the Marvel, but I think that this one has a different vibe of those heroes. So, and it has the whole story arc and that they came up with during the podcast and so on. So they could do the movie with that if they really want to.
I will hold my comments on this in case it comes up later.
Yeah, but basically, just to say, it's a card game where you take a role of a hero, and all those heroes are different, have different abilities, and then you take you get the environment, and you get the boss,
Yep.
the evil boss, and you basically fight that evil boss, trying to get his HP to 0, and trying to stay alive. I mean, like at least one hero must survive. So
In some modes of the game, yes, that's true.
yeah, but you know the basics are basically like that.
Sure,
So
I understand. Yeah, that's most of the plays of the game. That is true.
since it's a
Well,
multiverse, I think it would be a nice, like, those heroes are quite different from, though I think there are many kind of connections between the Marvel and DC heroes and all those different with those heroes of the Sentinels
mhm,
multiverse. Probably is inspired, but I still think they are different. It'll be
yeah.
really nice to see that.
All right. Well, I definitely think that's a good
Yeah.
choice.
So
My
yeah.
number 7 is one that you probably won't agree with, but this is a game that people either really like or really don't like, and a game that is half real time tile placement and half adaptation. And the game is Galaxy Trucker.
Mm.
And you're frantically I mean, so in the game you're frantically building this spaceship out of junk and then flying it through space and seeing what happens. And what happens could be anything from finding treasure to blowing up and getting lost in space. But you could easily see it as almost a comedy type space movie. Or you're kind of like when you talked about Wasteland Express, except this one you're in space and you built a ship that is literally just crap, and you're taking it through, trying to keep it alive, using whatever is available to your advantage. And I think it would be a very enjoyable movie. But I also think the game's a lot of fun, so that might bias my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah. I haven't played this one, and it has a kind of a real time of just building up the ship and see what's happening with that. But might be a nice movie. I don't know.
This is one that you should probably try at some point.
I think I
I,
should.
I
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's not a straight dry Euro by any
I
means,
I
but
really like
it
the
can make you angry. That's the problem. Is some people get angry when their ship
no.
blows up.
No,
Uh,
it won't, because I'm not that kind of a person. When I
well,
play real time games, I'm getting more and more excited, and I'm getting a
okay.
ton of fun out of them. It's stressful. Like I played the Kitchen Rush, I played the Escape, the Curse of the Temple. I played the Maze Runner. No, the Maze Runner, the Magic Maze,
Okay.
and the
Well,
one that kind of has the similar vibe is the Goblins Incorporated.
yeah, except that one's not very much fun.
Oh, I liked it very much. I mean, like it wasn't like extremely great, but I really like. I mean, like I would watch the movie or the animated movie about the Goblins Incorporated
Oh,
if I think of
maybe.
it right now, because I
Is
really
that
like
your
those robots, and you build them up and then you shoot each other. I mean, like, it's amazing. I love it.
no? Well,
Anyway.
well, this one. Well, if you like Goblins Incorporated, you'll probably like this. I don't know that the opposite is true, since I just said it wasn't. But anyway, that's my number 7 is Galaxy Trucker.
So yeah, let's go to number 6. My number 6 is so basically when you talked about the ancient world. I agree with that, but I'm more keen on his other games, and kind of the ancient world is a little bit different world, and like the City of Iron and the Near and Far and Above and Below, they have kind of a similar world of those, the different factions or different like animals, the little bit of anthropomorphic world, all of that. It's kind of connected, kind of and this ancient world is not connected to that, to
That's
the other
true.
worlds.
It's different.
So Empires of the Void, the second edition. I picked this one because basically when I picked all those games, I went through the games that I really really like, and then see if I want them as movies. That's
Yeah.
that's that as well. So, but the order of the games is not extremely relevant. As this would be a better movie.
Sure.
It's not. So just I like these games very much, and the Emperors of the Void. It could be a really nice science fiction space themed um, movie because it has those really nice different factions and kind of a Dune type. Well, it's 4X game, so basically it has a lot of theme, and I like all those different powers and the
I
small
gotta play the
worlds and
new
big
one.
worlds and politics in that. So you haven't played this one?
I played the first version. I haven't played the new one.
The new one is different from the first one.
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
admit.
I just haven't been able to sit down and make it through the rule book yet. So
Yeah. This game is not so difficult. It's hard to teach, but it's not difficult to
right,
understand.
that's the
So
problem. So
so basically, yeah, it has pickup and delivery. It has the discovery. It has all the 4X's plus pickup and delivery. It has a little bit of story as well, and I mean, like, it has the story.
yep.
And if you look into that world of those, I don't remember the names of them, the frog people and some other people and some humans and some, those are like parasites and so on. It could make a really nice, cool, new kind of a universe type world where you have all those different factions like for control and the politics and so on. So that would be a great movie, I think.
Yep, I can see that. I considered it just because I know I know the world, but it's almost the same as the ancient world. Like it's not the same game at all, but I mean it's the same rationale that I had for that one, in that I
Yeah.
think the visual aspects of the game make you think this would be interesting to see how it would be developed as a movie.
Yeah. But with this entry, though, I was like, I want to say I picked this one, but I want to say any Ryan Lockett game because it has. I mean, like, if we go into those big ones, the Near and Far, Empires of the Void, City of Iron, all those more difficult games, and even the Ancient World, but though it's a little bit different world. I want to say that all of those games, they have the same factions, the same kind of a style. So
Yeah.
so I
Yep.
want to
Well,
say
it's yeah.
it's all the
Fair enough.
same.
Yep. Fair enough.
Your number six.
My number six is a game that sort of naturally prepares you for a movie. The game is Root.
I
It's
see.
you've got
Hmm.
you've got all these different factions.
Hmm.
They're fighting it out. They all play differently, but they're various animals. You've got a cat that's an industrialist. You've got some birds that are an ancient empire that are trying to regain their glory. You've got some mice and forest creatures that are trying to start an uprising. You've got lizards that are trying to convert everybody to their religion. You've got beavers that are buying and selling and playing all sides against each other. And then you've got this raccoon that's sort of running around and allying with some and attacking others, sort of playing his own game. I think it would be interesting just to see all those characters kind of brought to life. The cats and the birds are kind of bad guys. They both sort of feel like natural villains. I
It
don't know
looks
who the
like a
heroes
great
are.
animated movie, though.
Yes, you can just sort of see it being that way. I think it would be interesting to see the personalities of these different factions developed. I enjoy the game anyway, but I think as a movie it would be endearing and delightful and as cute as the game.
All right, so that's Root, a nice addition. Good. Yeah, I didn't think about that one.
Have you played it?
No.
You didn't play it with us on the cruise. It's a
Eventually, I abandoned this idea because the thing is
You
that
didn't play it with me at Gen Con. Mhm.
yeah, I want to try it, but I realized that these kinds of games are not meant for my collection because I'm not playing this. Though I'm trying to get to that kind of a feel and to that vibe of playing games again and again. And I do that with some games, but the more simple games. And with this game, teaching is just and learning is just it's too much. that's where I think this game will not survive in my collection anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. It is a game. I think my brother said the same thing. Is he liked the game, but he would just never be able to teach it to anybody. It's definitely a rough teach.
Yeah.
But if you get it's a game that if you get a couple of people who are willing to play it a few times and invest in it, you can get a lot of mileage out of that teach. So anyway, as again for movies, I think it would definitely work though. So number 6 is Root.
All right. So let's go to number 5. So my number 5 is it's a game where it's a collection of different stories, and it could be a great animated movie, to be honest. And it's the Green Forest. So
Oh,
though
yeah.
though these are all the
It could be a musical.
it could be a musical, like it could be. I mean, like the thing is that if you think about that, those are different characters where you have all of those Disney implementations of those Three Pigs and the Cinderella and the Pinocchio and whatever many of them, and kind of a Shrek. Shrek is kind of a similar vibe where it has all those different characters. If you think about
Yeah.
that, Shrek the movie
Yeah.
has those different green characters, but it could be even more of that. It concentrated Grimm, the Grimm brothers stories concentrated into one movie. All of those characters, all of them in the same movie. Like in animated movie, it can be like a mashup. The Marvel has the Avengers. It could be the Green Forest Avengers.
Okay.
Okay, it sounds cool.
Um,
Yeah, but as
I
a
mean,
game, yeah,
I can. I mean, I can agree with you. I think that movie. I think there are several sort of versions of that movie already, but they've been successful. So absolutely. I mean, nothing has everything other than I think you said Shrek, but you've also got Into the Woods that has a lot of that, and but certainly
they all
it's I
separate though. I mean, like most like those movies are not mashups or of all of the characters.
well I think Shrek and Into the Woods are mashups of all those characters,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
right?
Shrek is like kind of but it concentrates on the Shrek himself and like a new
Sure,
character, and
fair enough.
not the
But
Grimm stories.
yeah, I mean, I can certainly see where you're coming from, though. Those things obviously lend themselves well to movies, since there are so many movies made about those stories. That I certainly
I
agree.
wanted to have the kind of a darker vibe to that, like the Grimm
Ah,
brothers stories are darker than they are now. I
yes.
mean, like eventually the originals, as I remember, like so somebody, I think I read it somewhere that the original stories are not, as happy. They're quite dark.
Some of them. Yep. Anyway,
So that I want to see this kind of a dark vibe of that.
all
So
right.
you're number 5.
My number 5 will cause you to roll your eyes, but I have
I
actually stood in the shower and envisioned this movie.
see.
Right? I've envisioned the moment when Rhett Tallis will chant and call forth Elit Ball, summoned by blood, causing his forces to drop to the ground and raise up and raise havoc. The game is Summoner Wars, of course, but I could see it. And if you go back to the original days, the first several factions have vibrant stories written about them. If you go on to the Planet Hack Games website, if you read, there's still even there you can read the stories of these summoners and the sort of and when it sort of folded in the alliances set. There was stories about reaching out and the intrigues and politics between these different factions. I mean, I know I try and put it on every list, and it belongs on
And
every list,
yes,
but I think it fits on this one because I think the stories and the characters, and I know I have envisioned some parts of this movie and
I see.
maybe even voiced some of the characters to myself in my head. So I think it definitely fits. I didn't put it as number one. I didn't think I could get away with that, but I but I definitely think the Summoner Wars stories would lend themselves well to a movie.
I mean, next time we're gonna do the list. We're gonna say that excluding Summoner Wars.
Well, it kind of fits though. This time it does.
I
It didn't make it into my top 10 worker placement games. So
though it might be. I don't know a lot about the background. It's just it's a fantasy. It's like
yeah, but it's
fantasy.
different fantasy.
They fight each
Go
other.
if you go to the Flathead Games website and click on each of the factions, the newer ones don't have it, but the older ones, you'll find a nice write up that's written by the same guy who does lots of the other Plat Hat Games
Hmm.
writing.
Yeah,
He did lots of the writing for Mice and Mystics for what's the one about wetting the bed.
Dead of
Uh,
Winter.
no, yes, he did the writing. He did the writing for some of the Dead of Winter, but Stuffed Fables, he wrote the whole book for that.
Hmm.
It's definitely. I mean, it's well written and there's some
No.
story there.
Huh. Yeah.
So,
Now I remembered
um,
something. Yeah.
so I don't think this one's a cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
Anyway,
Um.
my number five, and the only time it's ever going to be number five, Summoner Wars.
All right. So my number four is a game that I played kind of recently. We talked about that already, and it's it's not as thematic of a game as it could be, but it has a really cool world, and it kind of the world comes alive when I play this game, and that's Abyss. I could
Okay,
totally see Abyss as a movie. I mean, like this world is extremely
the
rich.
artwork
You
for
could
sure.
and the art. I mean, like yeah, but from the artwork, you could see all those. I mean, this could be a great movie because this is the underwater kind of um, also like kind of Atlantis, but the darker Atlantis with those fish people and so on. And it just feels like it could be a great movie if you would.
Sure, I definitely agree. I mean, there's a lot of characters, and it's almost like the Ryan Lochte games, right? There's some
Yes.
characters that are there that look interesting, and you think it'd be nice to know who the executioner is and what his motivations are, and why why this works like that. Why are these showing the Leviathan fight, talking about the Kraken and those dark pearls. I mean, I could definitely see somebody taking this and saying, let's explore the story a little bit because there's not really any story in the game.
Yeah, there is a little bit of story. I mean, like if the same as you say
A
with Platinum
very
Games, when
little bit.
yeah, I mean, like I have the art book as well, and so
Sure.
there's more story to that.
Mm, fair enough. But yeah,
If you
I
have
could
the
see
art
that.
book, yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
Abyss number four, I think it could be a nice movie
Yep.
implementation with
I agree. I agree.
with the characters explained roughly, and if you add the theme is already there, the
Absolutely.
premise is already there, the politics and so on, and then you just add the world is there. You just add the exact things. Yeah. So number
All
four,
right.
Abyss.
My number four is a game that is all about story. It is a game. I played it when Victor was here. We played it around every day. It's a game I've talked about before a few times. Also, lots of so the game is Comanauts, just to
Hmm.
say that, and
Hmm.
it's also was written largely by that same guy who wrote those stories for Summoner Wars and the Stuffed Fables book. But it's an interesting story. You're going inside this guy's mind and you're fighting through scenarios in his memory, and there's demons and bad guys that you're fighting, and you're trying to go through and help him overcome some past trauma to help him wake up. I mean, there's the overall story of this device that's destroying the world. You've got to wake up this doctor, but in the game story is you're trying to go through these essentially stories.
Hmm.
I was watching The Flash recently, and there was an episode where they did this. Essentially, they would go into this girl's mind, and they're stuck in different areas, and they're fighting the different characters in those areas. I mean, it was essentially the same thing as playing Comanauts. I mean, the story is so strong in this game that it lends itself to a movie adaptation easily. I think the characters, there's the plot, everything's already there. All you got to do is cast it and film it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the cover with the mashup of
Well, and
kind
the
of like a
game is full of
Thor,
mashup too.
kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
Thor and the Wonder Woman and something like that. And there's the Winnie Pooh, and it's kind of
Winnie the Pooh, yes. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of different things, different stories that come together because it's not just a linear story. You're sort of playing through and jumping from time to time, trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. But once you get into a story, there's a track that you're following, and it essentially tells the story. So I think it definitely lends itself to a movie, Comanauts.
hmm, cool. Yeah, I do agree on that one. So let's go to number three.
Okay.
My number three is so it's very similar one because I haven't played the Common Outs. I have played the Stuffed Fables, but I think Mice and Mystics would be a great movie. I mean, like
Oh, sure.
Mice and Mystics. Though when I look at the Common Outs and Stuffed Fables, it has really rich worlds. But if we go into more serious theme, then Mice and Mystics is the one. I mean, like this one has kind of a premise to be a more serious movie as it is.
Oh,
Animated
I
though,
agree.
yeah. It's those all those heroes. I mean, like when I play this game, I don't have this game, but when I play this game, I felt like being Ness or was Nelly or the big guy and I don't remember all the names.
Nez is the big
The
guy. Fitzcolin.
Maginas, I
Uh
think.
huh.
Yeah, I really
Attila.
felt like I am that person, and
That mouse.
that mouse, but they basically it has. I mean, like it has so nice story. Like, so there was an evil queen and blah blah, and so they turned themselves into mice, but couldn't turn themselves back into humans, so they escaped and so on, so on, and the kind of a it has the whole world of being a mouse or a rat in a in those castle sewers and so on. So it could be just amazing movie. Though I heard that they might do something with that. They
I heard
might
that
do some kind
too.
of a movie.
I also heard that. I think it was. I think somebody posted it somewhere. But yeah, I've heard that it's been at least talked about. Now, and I could definitely see it working. I mean, there's already a strong story,
Extremely
and
strong. I mean, like,
you've got it's almost the same thing as the Comanauts or Stuffed Fables,
yeah,
right? There's a
yeah,
strong story. I think that's sort of what Jerry Hawthorne does. Is he develops strong characters and he works with talented writers to get a good story that's well written and
yeah,
enjoyable and interesting. And sometimes, in many cases, I think in all three of them, the game is enjoyable, but the story is really what props it up.
yes. I played because of the story and the mechanics were simple. Just
Yeah,
RPG,
it's
roll the dice and see what happens. Kind of
yep.
like RPGs type. So anyway, my number three, Mice and Mystics. Your
All
number
right,
three.
unfortunately, there won't be very many surprises left on my list. My number three is a game I talk about a lot, so I won't talk about a lot here. But it is a game where you play the role of several island spirits.
Hmm.
The game is Spirit Island. You
Yeah, I
play
thought about that one.
various
I've played this one.
nature deities that are inhabiting the nature of this island, and you're trying to combine your powers to repel the humans, get them out of your land. Well, not all the humans. You've got some local tribesmen who are your friends, but you're trying to get the people, the colonists, off your island, and you're using various powers, various pieces of nature, and you're developing yourself and getting stronger. It's a puzzly, weird game, but it's a lot of fun, and it works well. And I could see the story being very interesting. In fact, it comes with several scenarios you can play, and you play through a story with some objectives, and you can kind of add the story yourself, magic circle it in. But what do they call that? Emerging narrative. That's kind of what we're talking about with lots of these games here. Um,
Hmm.
but I could see it definitely working as a movie. I would certainly go and see that movie.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've even played the game,
I haven't played. I have it. I have it. I haven't played this yet.
but I sure talk about it a lot. It is rough to learn from the rule book. Let me just warn you about that. But
Yeah.
it's a fantastic game once you get it out there. There's a new expansion coming out next year, which I'm also excited for.
Hmm.
But
I saw that, but
I
I
think
didn't back it because like I need to play the base games. I need to.
I
I'm
agree.
gonna.
You've got a base game and an expansion already that you can play. So
I think I
I
didn't
think
have
it would
the
work really
first
well.
expansion.
No,
I
you
just
don't need it. You
I
can
just
just
have
play
the
the
base
base
game.
game.
Yeah.
I always use some aspects of that expansion just because I've already mixed in the cards and I don't want to separate them out, and they don't add that much. But I mean, really, all you need is a big pile of spirits to play as, and you've got sort of an endless variety. There's the lightning that strikes at midnight or something. They all have
Yeah.
very interesting names, but the artwork's great too, which doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So
Very
anyway,
nice.
that's my number three is Spirit Island.
All right. So my last two are not any big surprise, and because they have very strong worlds, like with Mice and Mystics, for example, you have extremely strong world already in a board game, and it's really easy to imagine that one as a movie. So my number two is Time Stories, and Time Stories goes through different stories though, but it has the kind of the overarching story as well. Though it's a little bit confusing, but you have to go and read the files. Like they have this kind of a online website with all those different extra storylines, the like where you can get the overarching story of that, why you are those investigators, something like that, going to the past and kind of taking the bodies of those people from the past and trying to solve the anomalies or something of this world.
Have you seen the Inside the Box Time Story episode?
No.
I will send you a link. You will love it. It is fantastic. They basically take a game of Time Stories and play it as a movie. Um, it's
Hmm.
uh, it's worth your time. It's quite enjoyable too. It's maybe not for children. There's some naughty words that are used in it, and a little bit of violence. But I mean, I agree. These are stories. I have mixed feelings about the game at this point, but I enjoyed the stories when I was playing them, and I can definitely see what you're talking about. So
Yeah, I mean this though they go into those different times, but like it could be you could make it as a movie with the overarching story of the
yep,
same people, the same agents are playing very different characters, and that's what I like love about that one. I feel
yeah.
like
Well,
I'm the same old agent. Let's say Agent uh, Bob, whatever. No, Bob is cruel, but I mean like I'm Jake or something like that, and then I'll go to that kind of a 90s um, world, and then I'm gonna go to the ancient Egypt, and I'm the same character, but I have to adapt to those different worlds, and that could be a really nice drama, science fiction. I don't know, just
yeah. Well, I think you'll like this Inside the Box episode. It's
I
about
see.
20
Yeah.
minutes long. I sent you the link, so but it's worth your time. And it's worth the time of anybody else who's who's watching this. Just search Inside the Box Time Stories, and it's quite enjoyable.
Hmm. Nice. All right. So your number two.
My number two. All right, again, a game I talk about a lot, and a game I really love, and a game that I'm loving more and more every time I touch it. And this is a game. It's called Aeon's End,
Hmm.
and you play the role of several breach mages who are fighting against some invading horror. And its gimmick is that it's a deck building game, but you never shuffle your deck, so you're always putting things in the exact order you want them. But there's a lot of story. It's almost the same as like when you were talking about Sentinels of the Multiverse, or when I was talking about Spirit Island, or some of these other games where you've got a lot of story that's there, but it's not necessarily told. It's a story that you can kind of come up with by yourself. If you play the legacy version, you've also got a story that you're going through, and that's interesting too. But even if you just buy base regular out of the box or Aeon's End, I could definitely see that you can see the personalities of these characters, even though there's just a snippet of story uh, that's on the cards. It would make an interesting movie as you watch these characters develop themselves and try and
Yeah.
combat some invading horde and monster. And I just think it would be really interesting to watch. My number two, Aeon's End.
Okay. Nice. All right. So let's go to number one. And my number one is the one that you already picked before, and that's Scythe. Just gonna show
Okay.
it again for a moment, but I mean, like the cover. So this is a rich world of alternative um, World War I type type scenery, and I don't know. It's hard for me to describe what would be the movie
Yeah.
because it's a dramatic movie. It could be a dramatic movie, like it's
Sure.
science fiction, but very dramatic, you know. But it has the exploration of those factions, and I know you can play it out based on those factions, different
Hmm.
factions, kind of an alternative World War history movie, something like that, you know.
Interwar period. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Scythe number one.
Yeah. I obviously don't have any problem with this since I picked it as my number 10. I
So
I
your number
definitely agree.
one,
Well, my number one is a big surprise, and that is Sentinels of the Multiverse.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, there's a lot there. When I was watching, what was it, Endgame,
yeah,
there's sort of a big moment where everybody shows up for the fight, and I was
yeah. Don't
thinking,
don't spoil though.
I was thinking as I was watching it, this must be what the Oblivion scenario is like,
Mm,
right? Where because in Oblivion in Sentinels of the Multiverse, there's this huge cosmic destroyer of all reality who comes, and you have to fight him down, and that's why I said in many areas you have to stay alive. In this one, when somebody dies, you pick up a new hero and go again, and it takes about 3 hours to play this scenario, but it's whichever scenario you play, you can just sort of see these heroes. There's so much there, and it's not necessarily they need a lore book, and I think that's coming as part of the RPG Kickstarter, and I'm excited for it. But they've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, where they tell you all of the story of each character, and
mm-hmm.
the Oblivion fight in particular is just so much story that's put in there. And if you take it and look at it now and look back at the first sets, you can see pieces that they've sort of interwoven artistically uh, since the beginning. And it's just, there's so much there. I just think this would be a great series of movies. And in fact, they've described on their podcast, you know, two animated series that they would have about the
Mm,
shows, and some
mm-hmm.
movies that they, I mean, the stories are already there. The heroes, many of them are kind of inspired by other heroes, but they're also different in their own ways. And I just think this would be a fantastic movie. These are the heroes I've often said that I wish I had grown up with, and I would love to see them in, larger than life and twice as wicked.
Yeah. It's oh, Infinity Loop. I
And
don't,
we
I
we
don't forget
enter
that.
we end with infinity
Yeah. So
and
yeah,
beyond.
I agree. I put this on my list, but like as I said, like I just put them in whatever order, like in maybe in order that I like them as games, but they'll be great as movies as
And
well. So
I
that's
put them
that.
in order of how I think they would be as movies. But
It was
anyway,
hard for me to like,
oh yeah,
oh, Mice and
this is a
Mystics will
list
be a
where the
great. Thumb
ranking
Stores
doesn't
will
really
be the same
matter.
great movie. It's like it depends on
Yeah,
how well it's done by the.
the ranking doesn't matter as much in this list because that's very subjective. But I think most of them would definitely make really interesting movies.
Yeah, true that. So,
So
and that's that. The top 10 is done. And that's that for this episode of Würfelcast. It's been a longer one, but it's been a while, so we need to talk a little bit more. But yeah, we're gonna do another one soon. Now it's totally different. It's I have a new job.
Soon.
Yeah, quite
So
soon.
like before 2 months?
Before 2 months. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe in 2 weeks. I mean, like I have to see whether in 2 weeks I have the board game camp. Probably after the board game camp.
Okay.
So
Well,
now I have a little bit more kind of a free uh, scheduling. You know, like it's better for me though. I have like fixed hours now from Monday to Friday, but I
okay.
can schedule better.
Yeah. That's always nice.
So, and that's that. And that's it for the episode 9. And thank you for watching. And
All
don't
right.
forget
Well,
to stay tuned for more episodes and for more reviews. Though I just recently got I put out the Dawn of Peacemakers review. I also got 2 games from Taiwan board game Mizo, I think is the company's name. Raidon Takao, which is the cooperative game, and Food Pastry Party from something like that.
okay.
It's a small game. It's a very simple game, but it's made by Jesse Lee, the one who made
All
the
right.
Flow History and Ponzi Scheme and so on. He's a nice designer. So that's that. Stay tuned for
Well,
these reviews.
I will look forward to them.
Also the new series. Sorry, I have to mention that the new series in I don't remember how did it say, Inside the Box or something like that. I have to look at that. I recorded them a while ago and didn't have time to edit them yet. But
Oh, yeah.
um,
Okay.
Inside the Box, basically, this is the series where I take a look into. Some of them are just basic box, but how I store things and what's inside the box. If somebody is, it's like an unboxing, but with some games I have inserts and my ways of storing some extras and so on, so you can take a look at
So
that.
it's more like a reboxing?
Reboxing, yeah. It's not Puma, it's not Nike, it's Reeboks.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, that was
I
bad.
that's my Maid of Orleans riddle. So now we're even.
Yes.
Um. All right. Well, I also have made my top 100 list for the year. I just have to shoot the videos. So those are coming a little bit later, probably when I have somebody here who I can torment into
Oh,
making or into recording me. But that's something coming later this year.
good. We need to do that. It's gonna be on this channel. We're gonna
I
see.
if you want to put it there, once they're done, I will send them to you. So I'm
You
now the
should.
list is just tentative. I still need to go through and add some new things probably, but it's at least the first draft is done. So
Good.
that is the hardest part. But
Beautiful.
anyway, well, I guess that's it for today.
Yeah.
So
So thank you so much,
see you later.
and see you again. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye.